A battle against the banks, the collapse of confidence, a country in ruins, an untold story of destruction brought by populist intervention, the Panic of 1837. Imagine the early 1830s. America was growing fast. Cities kept expanding. Frontier lands sold quickly. Credit flowed everywhere, almost like a wide river. However, all these aside, President Andrew Jackson recognized the problems underlying the booming economy. The Second Bank of the United States managed most of the nation's money supply, and Jackson did not see this as real progress. To him, it was nothing more than corruption dressed up as banking. Jackson decided to fight back hard. He vetoed the bank's recharter bill and wrote this his 1832 veto message. The rich and powerful too often bend the axe of government to their selfish purposes. However, the bank's current authority would continue until 1836. Jackson wanted to break the bank's power sooner. In 1833, Jackson ordered the federal government to withdraw all its deposits from the Second Bank and deposit them in various state banks across the country. The irony is that these state banks, chosen to hold the government's money, were not selected at random. They were generally run by individuals loyal to Jackson's party or who supported him politically. After the federal funds came in, those chosen local banks got a sudden rush of capital, and they started lending wildly. Credit grew huge, land prices shot up, and speculation turned into something like America's main obsession. Things got out of hand because banks act independently, and everyone just kept pushing the gas pedal down. By 1836, the national bank was gone for good. Without a central authority to manage money or credit flows, state banks issued their own notes without much control. Paper money spread everywhere, and they often backed it with almost no gold or silver. It fed big bubbles in land and commodities, especially cotton, America's economic heartbeat. Jackson tried to fix the mess with the Specie Circular. He required land buyers to use only gold or silver. He wanted to rein in the speculators. But that move choked the whole economy instead. Hard cash disappeared from everyday use. Businesses struggled to settle their debts. Banks could not cash in the notes people held. The system basically drowned in all its own worthless paper. And then, the storm crossed the ocean. British banks and investors had been heavily funding America's boom. Canals, land, and especially state bonds tied to cotton exports. The U.S. looked like a young empire of endless growth, and London's financiers couldn't resist. But in late 1836, the Bank of England raised interest rates to defend its gold reserves. British investors panicked and pulled their money home and redirected it into new ventures closer to home, particularly the exploding railway projects of the 1840s. But this new area would ignite yet another speculative frenzy, the railway mania. Of course, this is another matter, but be sure not to miss our episode on this topic. The withdrawal of foreign investors and credit limits were cut, and cotton prices, which had long supported the South's wealth, collapsed almost overnight. Without strong exports or ready cash, confidence vanished, leading New York banks to suspend cash payments on 10th May 1837, meaning no one could withdraw gold or silver. Panic hit the whole country. Merchants went under. Banks closed their doors. Unemployment climbed high. From 1837 to 1844, the United States faced one of its worst depressions ever. This period also paved the way for the final political division that would occur in the 1850s. So what does all this mean for us? First, even things that look good can ruin everything. And this usually happens when populist movements are driven by pure ideology or impulsive behavior rather than solid facts. Jackson took down a corrupt bank, yes, but he caused more than one to be created without leaving a natural alternative in its place. Without rules and public oversight, corruption does not disappear. It just spreads out thin and wild. Second, spreading out financial institutional power without regulation brings chaos. At that time, the lack of centralized control and regulation had ultimately caused systemic issues and created an environment vulnerable to collapse. These days, we see it again. Foggy financial structures, problematic crypto networks built on mathematical trust, but exploited for wrongful purposes, and markets inflated by the illusion that money can be multiplied without cost. Third, no economy stands alone in the world. When Britain faced trouble, America suffered badly. Global ties make every country open to problems from others. That holds today as well. In today's world of algorithmic trading and fragile global debt chains, this story feels eerily familiar. The 1837 panic crisis is more than just an old story from another era. It reflects just how fragile the situation is right now. Each time people push for less regulation or praise free markets without real protections, they repeat Jackson's errors. The tools and faces have shifted, but human nature stays the same. Pride, greed, and too much confidence, whatever it looks like, still spark our booms and busts. Next time someone talks about strengthening, liberating, or transforming the economy, think about what they really mean. When they promise to get rid of something, what do they intend to replace it with? Are their plans and arguments consistent? Are they capable of taking responsibility in an uncertain environment? Above all, what will happen to our money with its local and global impact? Because decisions without a strong foundation only mean a hard fall, and others always pay the price. In the global economy, we must analyze and prepare for others' decisions as much as we are responsible for our own. Because the world is no longer as big and separate as it used to be. We are all experiencing the same thing on the same rock. If this story got you thinking about how crises start, go ahead and subscribe. Because the next big event may already be taking shape, and history is whispering warnings even now.